Here with Seawolves center David Busby. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You get here in December of 2019, and 3 months later, COVID hits, and everybody's isolated and sequestered, and this is your first time in Seattle. What was that like for you?
It was kind of crazy. So like we were actually going to play in New York the week. We were told the league was getting shut down for 30 days, and we were actually pretty beat up at that stage. We had a lot of injuries, and we were like, okay, that's good, boys. Let's rest up, and come back at it. And then the next day they were like, yeah, the league's finished. If you're a foreigner, advised to go back home before they close the borders, etc., etc. And so my parents had actually just arrived like 2 weeks prior to watch the first two home games. So I'd seen them and stuff. I was like, I don't really want to go home, you know.
Yeah.
It sounds bad, but I just in a new place. Like I loved Seattle. I loved the city, like the mountains, everything about it. So I was like, I'm just gonna stick around and see what happens. So yeah, I just decided to stay while everyone else was kind of fleeing the city. So I just decided to stay.
Was it a good choice? Did you enjoy being here? And who did you know outside of your teammates really during that time?
No one really.
Yeah.
No one. I just luckily I got close with the teammates. I liked them enough to hang around with them. But I think I made the right decision. Back then it was more of a lockdown back home than here. So during that time I got out to hike. I hiked a lot. Saw a lot of Seattle. The countryside and whatnot. It was great. I loved it.
In many ways, it was a good introduction to what Seattle had to offer, geographically, at least. Right?
Exactly. And especially in the summer, like Seattle summers are unbelievable.
Yeah.
So yeah, we spent a lot of time with the guys that stayed in town, like barbecuing, going to the lake. You know, obviously doing the social distancing and all that. But yeah, it was good. It was a good time. Definitely probably saw a lot more than I would have, you know.
So take me back a little bit further. You're originally from Northern Ireland?
Yep, from Northern Ireland. Born in Belfast,
Belfast.
And then grew up in a town about 30 minutes from that. Okay. Northern Ireland's pretty small.
Yeah. What do you remember about growing up there?
I remember like our house was like 3-minute walk from the rugby club. So that was kind of inevitable that I was going to play rugby.
Yeah.
And me and my brother, both brothers played rugby all through. We call it mini rugby back home when we were just small kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of like the boundary back home. You're allowed to go one street and then the rugby club, and then that's as far as you're allowed. So mum and dad trusted us that we'd stay there.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time, childhood, close to the rugby club, watching the local team there. And all my friends, and then that's where I made all my friends, and they all loved rugby. We all loved rugby together. So yeah.
How old were you when you started to play rugby?
I was about 6 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah, and we played mini rugby every Saturday morning, and then we go and watch the senior team, the men's team, stick around the clubhouse, and yeah, it was just rugby.
Who introduced the game to you? Was it your dad or was it friends?
My dad played when he was in school, and. Yeah, I think it was just literally proximity to the club. It was close, and me and my brothers liked fighting, so rugby was the next best thing. Mum must have thought, and yeah, that was it. I think, and then Dad obviously played it, so he kind of pushed it as well. So.
How many brothers do you have?
I've got a twin brother and an older brother.
Twin brother.
Yeah.
Fraternal or
fraternal?
Fraternal.
Yeah.
Can you read each other's minds at all? Or
no. I think that's a myth, but we can't do that. But yeah, he's in London, and then my older brother, he's back in Ireland.
Any sisters?
Nope, per mum. She's a house full of boys.
So outside of rugby, what else do you remember about your childhood growing up? Because I know you said it's rugby,
Yeah.
but what are the other memories that come to mind?
Just messing about with friends.
Yeah.
Always outside. I was never really big into gaming or anything. It was always just outside, running around. Probably getting up to mischief. Yeah, and probably getting chased by people that just normal childhood, I guess.
Did you ever see yourself living outside of the neighborhood you grew up in, or outside of Northern Ireland in general?
Yeah, I'd say so. My mum and dad are they love traveling.
Mm-hmm.
They've traveled a lot of places, and they kind of took us a lot of places when we were young. And showed us like there's more to the world than just where we live. Home is always home, but I'm thankful for Mum and Dad for doing that, because yeah, I love traveling even still now, and I just want to see every place.
Where were you able to travel growing up with your parents?
We went to Australia, we went to Egypt, we went to America numerous times. Europe, all around Europe. Europe's easy to travel when you're from Ireland. Where else did we go? Yeah, we just went all around, and yeah, thankful for my parents to be able to bring us there when we were young.
Where in the States did you travel?
We went to Miami. Went for a cruise. We went to New York, another cruise. Yeah, mainly just East Coast actually. Okay. When I moved to Seattle in 2020, it was my first time on the West Coast.
So what are your favorite things to do in Seattle now that you've been here for about 6 years? You have some go-to spots?
Yeah, I've got some go-to spots definitely. Food. I'm a big foodie. I like food. I like trying new places. Coffee as well.
You're in the right place for that.
Yeah, definitely. I like the city, but I also like how easy it is to get out of the city here. You know, you can travel like 20-30 minutes and you're like in the sticks.
Yeah.
So I really like that. That's what I love about Seattle. The sports as well. Obviously, been in Seattle long enough. I'm a Mariners fan, I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm a Sounders fan now. So
nice.
That's not always easy, but you gotta support them.
Well, we appreciate that. And you're technically a Seattleite now since you've been here for as long as you have. What were your reactions to seeing the fans at all of these other sports? And then obviously you get to see the fans cheer for you guys when you play at Starfire.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle is definitely a sporting city. They love it. Even at a couple of Seahawks games, yeah, like the decibel meter, you know, is always going. But yeah, and that's what I noticed about the fans at our games, especially earlier on when I first joined. They like talking to the fans, like obviously rugby, we talk to the fans after the game, we say thank you and whatnot, and we meet them, and like it was funny to see that most of them like didn't really have a clue what rugby was, like, but they were like, we just love the sport, we love you guys, you know, and that was actually and that really nice to hear, because like these guys, people don't understand the sport, but they're engrossed in it, they love it.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to see.
If you weren't playing rugby, what would you be doing?
Ooh, I'm not too sure. I've got a degree in psychology. I haven't really used it yet. But maybe something along the lines of like coaching, probably rugby coaching, or like business coaching or something like that.
What is it about rugby that you love so much? Because it has been such a big part of your life from such an early age. And when I ask you what you would want to do, you want to stay in that world.
I don't know. I think it's obviously a massive part of culture back home. Everything, like even if the professional team's playing, everything's kind of geared up to that. Like everyone's like, oh, we're going to the game on Friday night or whatever. So I just got engrossed in it. I've made some lifelong friends through it. I feel like it's taught me a lot. It teaches, especially young kids, it teaches like discipline, teamwork, determination, resilience through injuries and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I suppose it's given me so much. I've been able to travel the world through it. So yeah, I want to stay involved and kind of give back. It's good to hear that I can give back through coaching to people here that haven't had the same opportunities that I've had.
Who were your favorite athletes growing up? Or teams growing up? Who were your favorite?
Team? Well, definitely the team that the professional team back home in Belfast. It's called Ulster.
Yeah.
That was my childhood dream of playing for them, which lucky I got to do. One of the players that I looked up to, he was actually only a year older than me. Stuart Olding. He was, and I actually got to play with him. But even at school, he was like, there's a lot of hype about him and stuff, and I was like, he's a pretty skillful player. So, so lucky I know him, and he's a good guy. So I would say him.
That's a good thing sometimes, because sometimes you have a role model or you look up to somebody and then you meet them and it doesn't it doesn't work out well. But it did in your case.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. So yeah, I would say him.
How has the rugby culture changed here at all over the course of this? Maybe changed or evolved over the course of the 6 years that you've been here, if you've seen anything at all?
Well, I feel like people now know more about rugby. That's for sure. The Olympics, Ilona Maher, she done massive to try and put rugby on the map for both girls and guys rugby. And I feel like, so I coached a Washington Athletic Club, a sevens team, and I feel like women's rugby here is a lot bigger than women's rugby back home. Like it's more like, what's the word? It's more, I think it's just more popular, and yeah, rugby culture here is definitely grown. People, I think it's just because people know more about it, and people, they like the values that rugby bring, the culture, and how good it is, and how good it can be.
David Busby of the Seawolves, thanks so much for joining us, and thanks for sharing your story and telling us a little bit more about your rugby career and also growing up in Northern Ireland.
Thanks very much, Aaron.